What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Here we are with another reaction. In this one, we have six gezellig. Hope I said that right. Little things the Dutch do. Americans don't know what they're missing. Before we dive into the video, if you guys happen to enjoy, please don't forget to subscribe, give a video a thumbs up. And if you'd like to support this channel by becoming a member, all you gotta do is hit that join button to receive your exclusive benefits. Let's dive in.
Hi everyone, I'm Ava and today I want to talk to you about 6 gezellige things that the
Gezellig.
Dutch do,
Okay.
but Americans don't, and I just don't know why.
Talk
Now
to me.
first of all, if you're new to this channel, my name is Ava and I am an American living in the Netherlands, and I'm loving every minute of it. Now if you are new to Dutch culture, the one thing you are definitely going to learn about in this video is gezelligheid. Gezellig is often translated as cozy, but it's really quite untranslatable into English. It is the Dutch version of the Danish hygge. You see, the Dutch are gezellige people, and Netherlands is a gezellig place to be. Now, in this video, I want to talk about, yes, gezellig things, but not the obvious big things that will be apparent to anyone visiting the country, but rather the smaller things that I only noticed as I started to spend more time here and then eventually moved here. These are things the Dutch consider totally normal, part of everyday life, but I can tell you, Americans do not. These things are just not normal in America. It's not how we do them there. But I wonder why. Because for some of these things that I talk about, I think to myself, it wouldn't even cost that much. It wouldn't have to be a tremendous change to American culture in order to implement these things. And I just think that the US would be a more gezellig place if we started doing at least some of these things that I'm going to talk about today. So the first thing that I want to talk about today is having your presents wrapped at the store when you buy something.
Oh,
now the first
that would
time
be so clutch.
that I got asked the question, is this a present? I was taken aback. This was when I bought a book, I believe at a British bookstore in Amsterdam called Waterstones, I want to say, and they asked me if the book that I was buying was a present. And I was a little taken aback because I thought, that's a really personal question. Or are they questioning my taste? I mean, I'm not really sure what was going on. But after some time, of course, as I would go shopping with my Dutch girlfriend, I noticed that when they ask you, is this a present? And you say yes, they will take the thing that you bought and wonderfully, beautifully wrap it for you. I don't even know how they do this because from what I have learned, it's not that they get any training to wrap these presents. Oh. But anyway, that's besides the point. Needless to say, this was mind-blowing to me. Because in the US, maybe around Christmas at some malls or larger stores, you might have wrapping services, but it's really not a part of an individual store. That is extremely uncommon, and like I said, it's only around Christmas. It's not a year-round thing. I cannot tell you how many times this service would have made my life easier in the US. Why? Because even though I put a lot of thought into presents, I am very bad at buying them on time. So often I've gotten a present last minute, and then I would have to spend another $3 or $4 at the CVS, which is a drugstore in the US where you can buy stuff for presents. I know, weird, but that's where you get stuff for your, wrapping your presents and stuff. So I would have to spend another $3 or $4 on getting a bag that doesn't even look great to put my present in and give it to somebody. Sometimes the bag itself will be more expensive than the presents. So how nice is that here in the Netherlands, they will do this for you. And to me, that just seems like it's because they want you to enjoy the thing that you bought. They want the person you're buying this for to enjoy the thing from the store. And now I just love seeing how these presents are wrapped in different ways. It is just so cute.
I absolutely freaking love that. Like, yes, the US needs to hop on board and hop on board quickly. That service at stores would be 100% appreciated. I suck at gift wrapping, so I literally put everything in gift bags. And now, like, when I order off Amazon, why give you the option to have it gift wrapped for you? If it's a present, I will absolutely click that. I'll pay the extra couple bucks. Yeah, wrap it for me. I suck at it. But yeah, that would have been a clutch service for most of my life. Now I have a wife who she loves wrapping presents. Like, she finds enjoyment in that. So she do it, but for most of my life when I didn't have a wife, that would have been absolutely crucial and amazing for me. And like when I gotta buy my wife gifts, like that would be a nice service to have.
The second thing that I wanted to talk about is blankets and heaters outside at cafes here in the
What?
Netherlands.
What do you
Oh,
mean?
just saying that makes me feel so warm and fuzzy
What?
inside. So there are a ton of cafes in the Netherlands, of course, because the Netherlands is super gezellig and cafes are gezellig. So yes, there are a
Face
lot
are
of cafes here.
silly.
And at these cafes, there's a lot of outdoor seating, and when it gets cold, it's not that the Dutch are gonna give up on their people watching their fresh air or, enjoying those pretty lights outside. Oh no. You just have blankets and heaters to make up for the weather. If the Dutch were to stay inside or do whatever the weather says, their lifestyle would be very, very different. But no,
I
the
feel
Dutch have
that.
figured out ways to work around it.
Yeah.
But honestly, while I can say that outdoor heating might take up a lot of energy, so I can see how there are reasons not to do it,
Hmm.
blankets are so great. They're so cozy. I mean, don't you want to be wrapped up in a blanket as you're enjoying your warm
Yes.
tea or coffee? But yeah,
Yes.
this is not common in the US. I don't know why. I have seen outdoor heaters at a couple of very trendy, specific beer gardens or something like that in the US, but they're
Mm.
really not very common. But maybe at these cafes, the idea is that people use it and it's very practical and then people leave as quickly as possible. I don't know, because let me tell you, all the people working on their laptops all day in the US at the cafes, that seems to go against the whole concept of trying to make things very efficient so that you have a larger turnaround of people. Also, as
Yeah.
evidenced by American sitcoms, it's not that people in the US don't like cozy cafes. I mean, have you watched Friends? They're at that cafe all day, and that cafe is really iconic because it's extremely cozy. I haven't seen very many cafes in the US that are that cozy as the cafe depicted on the show Friends. But hey, Dutch people watching this, do you even find this cafe cozy? Does it meet up to your Dutch standards? Let me know in the comments. Number
Dang. I mean, me personally, I'm not going outside if it's cold. That's just me. Definitely not sitting outside if it's cold. I do let the weather dictate what I'm gonna do. I am one who does. But I think that's an absolutely incredible freaking idea. I think so many people would absolutely enjoy that. Right? They got their hot tea or hot coffee here in the U.S. more than likely, whatever, hot chocolate, hot cocoa, whatever you got, and then they offer you a blanket to sit outside, and you just yeah, that'd be very nice. Like I said, wouldn't make a difference to me because if it's cold, I'm not outside. But that's very nice.
Number three on this list is getting coffee while grocery shopping. Now, you know that the Dutch really like to make things gezellig when they start incorporating it into everyday, really mundane things like
Mm.
grocery shopping. I mean, in the US, I can tell you, no one has ever given much thought into making grocery shopping a pleasant and enjoyable experience.
Hmm.
But just something like being able to get a coffee here, that really changes things. Oftentimes here in the Netherlands, when you go grocery shopping, you'll see a little coffee station where you can go and get yourself a cup
Ah,
of coffee while you do your grocery shopping. How nice is
love
that?
that.
I mean, I know it's not the same across every single grocery store here in the Netherlands, but it's often enough that I've noticed it. And sometimes this coffee is even free. How great is that? This is
Free.
so not common in the US. I mean,
Mm-mm.
you might go to the Trader Joe's and get yourself a little sample that's that big, but it's just not the same. It's not the same. Getting a
Nah,
sample this size while grocery shopping is sad, and being sad
it's
is very
sad.
gezellig.
It's
The
sad.
fourth thing,
Yeah, some places will have like a Starbucks or something. Like some groceries, like a Target, will have like a Starbucks inside. But I mean, that's gonna cost you. Y'all know Starbucks. That's pretty pricey. So yeah, you can get your coffee while you grocery shop, but that coffee will be like 6, 7, 8, $10, something like that. I don't know. I don't know Starbucks prices because I don't buy Starbucks because it's too expensive for me. My wife loves it. But yeah, so you can do it at certain stores. It's not common in grocery stores, but do you want to spend that money just for your coffee while you shop?
thing I wanted to talk about is getting a little cookie on the side when you
Ah,
order a warm beverage. This is probably the cutest little thing on the list, but okay, here in the Netherlands, everyone pretty much right away notices that when you order a cup of coffee or tea, on the side you will get this little cookie or a tiny piece of cake sometimes to enjoy with your drink.
love
What I
that
love
so
about this
much.
is, yes, of course you didn't order that cookie or that small piece of brownie, but it tremendously improves your experience. Like, I'm sitting there with a smile on my face. And that is because who doesn't like a bite of
Hmm.
something sweet with your drink? This custom is pretty
Yeah.
much standard across the Netherlands. If you walk into a cafe and you order a drink, you will get something sweet to have with it. It's not very big. It's really a very tiny thing, but it just makes the whole beverage drinking experience very gezellig. And of course, this is not a thing that's done in the US. But I don't see why not. It wouldn't cost a lot, but it's just the idea that you would have to think about improving the customer experience. I mean, we talk about this in the US a lot, but I don't see these little added frills. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, Americans don't even know what they're missing. It's a
Yeah.
small cookie that goes a long way.
Just small cookie. I don't drink coffee or any hot beverages, but I mean, it's just very nice. It's just a very nice thing to do when you order a beverage to get the little cookie on the side. I'm sure, right? That's enough to make your day. That's enough. It's very gezellig, and I'm sure Americans who do drink hot beverages would enjoy this.
The fifth thing on this list is bringing actual glasses or cups inside with you into a movie theater. So, in the Netherlands,
Really?
generally speaking, when you go to a cafe or a bar and you order a drink, you will get it in an actual cup. So, if I'm
Hmm.
ordering a coffee, I will get the coffee in an actual cup
Got
and
you.
not in a to go cup. In the US, it's the opposite.
Yes.
When I order a coffee and if I don't specify it's for here, they will give it to me in a to go cup.
Yes.
Whereas here, I've noticed that I always have to say, I would like my coffee to go. I mean, but seriously, I shouldn't even be surprised at this point because really, are the Dutch going to go for these flimsy plastic little things?
Probably
No,
not.
they won't.
Probably
Because
not.
flimsy plastic things are ongezellig. Okay, but when I started seeing this at the
Unexotic.
movie theaters, I was actually surprised.
Yeah.
Now, thanks to COVID, not thanks to COVID, but no thanks to COVID, I've been going to the movies more than I normally would.
Got you.
And recently, not too long ago, I noticed that there were people sitting in the theater drinking wine out of an actual wine glass or drinking beer out of an actual beer glass and so on for all the beverages.
What?
And I saw a couple of people with these drinks and I was so confused and surprised because it is so not common in the US that I thought I had seen it wrong, that I thought that I was mistaken. But 2 weeks ago, I went to the theaters with an Italian expat friend of mine, and both of us were really pleasantly surprised when we ordered our teas and got them in these clear glass cups with a saucer and everything, and we were
Oh,
just allowed to bring them
wow.
in. Now, she's Italian, so this is definitely not a thing that happens all across Europe. So we sat there inside the actual movie theater, not just in the building, and we were just able to have our tea while sitting on these comfy, cozy chairs, watching the movie as if we were in our own living room. That is awesome. And we both agreed that this was really gezellig. And this is again one of those things that I don't know why we can't just do in the US. Like, would it really be that hard to have actual glasses or cups for people to take in? Yeah, I have no idea why we don't do
Hmm.
this. So an American will just never know that feeling. The feeling of sitting there with your warm beverage in an actual cup or glass, feeling like you're at home and just enjoying the experience so much more than you would if you were just sitting there with these to go cups that honestly remind me of having to go somewhere. They don't remind me of sitting
Oh,
somewhere
I don't
cozily
know.
enjoying my drink.
That to me just wouldn't make a difference to me at all. I don't care what cup we serve me my drink in. I almost prefer to I take a cup over a glass in a sense. Um, but that's just me. When I'm going to the movie theater, I'm going to order a big cup so I can go fill it up with soda. I will say the cool thing is we only have it at like some of our movie theaters where you can like get alcohol and wine and stuff like that. Like there are certain theaters that have that, but it's not like common in every single movie theater. So my question is that common in every single theater, or is that like the same? Like certain theaters have that with you guys too. Like I said, I don't care about warm beverages, and even if I did, I wouldn't mind it in to go cup. But maybe that's just the American inside of me. I don't think that would make that big a difference to me. But I think that's cool. If that's Hazelic and that helps you enjoy like the movie more and enjoy the experience more, I'm all for it.
And the final thing that I wanted to talk about on this list is having to ask for the check. When my girlfriend, who is Dutch, moved to the US, that's where we met. When she moved to the US initially, one of the things that surprised her the most is when you would order your food and the food would arrive, it would bring with it something else. You guessed it, the check. In the US, you will most likely, and by most likely, I mean like 90-95% of the time, unless you're in a really, really fancy restaurant, get your check before you've even finished your meal. Now,
Oh yeah,
sometimes the wait
yeah.
staff might ask you if you want anything else before they get you your check. Like when they bring you your meal, they might ask
Hmm.
you, hey, do you want something else? And if you say no, that's when they'll get you the check.
Yes.
It's all pretty quick. I kind of had the reverse experience that when I first started going to restaurants and cafes here in the Netherlands, I was surprised when you actually had to work to catch the wait staff's eye. You kind of have to be
Yes.
like, please look at me and let me
Yes.
pay. And
Yes.
initially, of course, I didn't like that so much. But after some time, I started to see big advantages. One of
Mm.
them being very obviously that you don't feel rushed to leave the restaurant
I
or
feel
wherever you
that.
are.
I
In the
feel
US,
that.
people say that they often leave the check so that it's easier for the customer to pay at their convenience. However,
Yeah.
having that bill or check there just makes you feel rushed. It's like a reminder of your imminent departure. And that is not very gezellig. So here in the Netherlands, I started to see how much of an impact that had on my dining or whatever cafe experience. You could just sit there, take your time, you don't feel rushed,
Mm.
and when you're ready, you can pay the check. Mind blowing. And oftentimes,
Except my
honestly,
boy.
besides the odd time here and there, I have never had trouble getting someone's attention to pay the check
Okay.
in the end. And also, I know that sometimes you can just go up to the bar and pay. So, all of that said, I think I know
That's
which one
nice.
I prefer now. It's funny because this is one of those things that I'm not sure all Americans would like. Some of them just prefer having the check
Yeah.
there.
Me.
It is how it is. The final thing that I
Me.
wanted to say about this is that it's actually funny to see how COVID has changed things.
Mm.
Because due to COVID, you can't have too many people at a cafe or restaurant at once. So you need to reserve. And when you reserve a specific time slot, which is usually about an hour and a half. So I've
Huh.
noticed that the Dutch get really awkward about this time limit because in order to indicate
Mm.
that your time is almost up, they need to ask you to pay, which means that they need to ask you
Oh.
if you would like the check. And that is so not done here in the Netherlands. You need to be the
Mm.
one asking for the check. You don't just get it without asking.
I feel
And
that.
why is that? Because giving you the check and
Unhazelic.
indicating that you need to leave is very ongezellig.
I
You
got
need
you.
to just be able to sit and enjoy your meal for as long as you like, and you pay for it. It is expected here that when you're at a cafe or restaurant that you keep ordering things if you're going to be sitting there, but you really won't get this rude indication that you need to leave with a
Yeah.
check. See, I'm becoming less American already. I already
Yeah.
think it's rude now to bring the check and leave it at the table. So those were six things that I think make the Dutch and living in the Netherlands a really gezellig experience.
Mm.
As usual, I would love to hear about your thoughts and experiences in the comments below.
Yeah, I would say, and maybe probably is the American in me that I do prefer for like the check to already be at the table, like before I finish eating, because I do feel like I don't have to like wave you down or get your attention and try to be like, hey, I'm done, I'm ready to go. It's just there already. So it's for me, it is more convenient to have that check. But yeah, I would say the Dutch culture and American culture is very different when it comes to eating in restaurants. Like we are very like eat and get out the door, where I feel like as the Dutch are more eat, enjoy the company at the table, right? Have a nice time, talk, everything, and then you go after a while. But me, I'm like eat, all right, now that I've eaten, I'm kind of ready to go. But that's just me. Y'all talk to me in the comment section. I absolutely love, yeah, as she's living in the Netherlands, she's becoming less and less American, more and more Dutch. So she's doing a great job of adjusting. But talk to me in the comment section. Let me know how you feel. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, check out the next. I'll see you guys next time.